So, it's finally happening. I know I can hardly believe it, but the Honkai Star Rail and Fate Stay Night Unlimited Bladeworks collab is just right around the corner. I know that for people like me who have been a long-time fan of Fate are really excited for this collab, and I personally cannot wait to see if Saber, Archer, and Lancer are the only characters that will appear in the collab, and how Star Rail's version of the Holy Grail War will turn out. But that's the thing. Unlike most animes, Fate is known for its more complex setting than, say, Naruto or Attack on Titan, and I'm pretty sure half of the terms I just said went over your head. It's one of the reasons why, despite many people hearing about it, they don't really want to dip their toes into the iceberg known as the Nossoverse. So I decided, you know what? Why not? I'm pretty sure most Star Rail players have no idea what Fate is, so why not make a sort of series, sort of explaining it to them about the bits and bobs of Fate, just so that when you play the collab, you won't be as confused about most of the terms that they'll probably go throw around. Even though I'm pretty sure they're gonna put a basic summary of the Holy Grail War, but yeah, I think this would have been fun, so I decided to do this. So, if you're one of those people who are lazy and don't want to jump through a bunch of hoops just to get the info you want about this series, which, you know what, fair enough, it's a big, expansive series, then this video is definitely for you. So, with that out of the way, let's start off with a brief history of the Holy Grail War. So before we can talk about the Holy Grail, we need to talk about the reason it was made, and to do that, we need to talk about this world's versions of wizards and sorcerers. Magi, however the hell you pronounce it. Magi, or Magus in singular, are the names given to the users of magic, or as they call it, magecraft. The way I can explain how the magic of this world works without busting your brain is that magecraft is the actualization of scientific phenomenon through magical energy. In other words, with the use of magical energy, a magus can make fire without the steps needed to make fire. For example, if you were to go camping and didn't bring a match or a fire starter for whatever reason, you'll need to create a fire somehow. You'll first need to get some wood and other debris as kindling, do the wood rubbing thing to create heat with friction, and then feed a steady amount of oxygen by blowing onto it. Which, makes it do its science thing, and then bam, you got your fire. Or, like I said, if you were smart enough to bring in your lighter, you just take your lighter, ignite it with the gasoline, and there you go. But you get the point. I'm not a science guy. Basically put it simply, all those steps and complications, all of them are skipped by using magecraft. By using magical energy, as long as it's within human possibility and through scientific means and physical feats, it is possible to create a spell for it. There is also the factor of human belief, symbolism, and all the other fantastical things that usually appear in fantasy media, but the main point is that that's how magecraft works. If it is possible scientifically, then you better believe that there's a spell for it. Most Magi have one goal and one goal only, and that is to reach the Akashic Records, or the Root. The Akashic Records is as the name implies. It's a place where all sorts of knowledge is stored and originates from in the Nossoverse. Many Magi would do anything to get there, even to the point that they would do some morally reprehensible stuff. Even when some of them do reach it, most cases of them would end up being Thanos snapped and disappearing from existence. Entirely. So even if they did reach the Root, they're gone. Disappeared. A lot of people would think that it's not worth it trying to get there, and I would agree if it weren't for one thing. Because I did say most cases would disintegrate. Most. The rare few who do come back receive a new power unobtainable through normal means, known as true magic. Okay, you might be wondering, true magic, what's the difference? Well, there is actually a big difference. It's that these powers are extremely or heavily implied to be overpowered. There are 5 true magics that are known in the Nossoverse, and these 5 spells are not replicable through scientific means whatsoever, and are the pinnacle of sorcery. One of these true magics is the 3rd magic, called Heaven's Feel. This true magic allows the user to materialize the soul. What does that mean? Well, again, to put it a long story short, nothing lasts forever, and not even souls last forever. Everything will start to deteriorate until they disappear if they don't have the energy to sustain it. That's how most of the things work in the Nossoverse. Heaven's Feel completely ignores that and makes it so that the soul does not deteriorate. If you didn't understand yet, it allows perpetual motion to exist, which in non-science means that it defies the laws of physics and thermodynamics. If you still don't understand that, in even more simpler terms, it gives you an infinite energy source. This right here is the entire reason why the Holy Grail War started. So now we can finally get to the Holy Grail War. There were 3 families that had the idea to start the Holy Grail War, or the Heaven's Feel ritual as it's called. The Tosakas, the Ainsburns, and the Makiris, who will later be known as the Matos later on in the series. These 3 families all wanted to grant a wish of their own. The head of the Tosakas wanted to reach the Root, the head of the Makiris wanted to become immortal, and the Ainsburn wanted to retrieve a spell that they lost long ago, which was Heaven's Feel. So they got to work on creating a ritual to make their dreams a reality. This ritual would need 7 souls of heroes long past to fuel the magical relic which would grant their wish. The Tosakas provided a land rich in ley lines for magical sustenance and also the summoning process for these 7 heroes. The Einsbarons provided a vessel for the artifact, and the Makiris created command spells in which the participants of the ritual would command the souls of the heroes to sacrifice themselves to fuel the ritual.
その理念を信じよう。根源に至るべく、東坂、アインツベルン、マキリの3者は互いに協力し、道を開く。それぞれの提供するもの。東坂は聖杯を敷設するための霊地を提供する。
マキリは見栄となるサーバントを縛るための霊樹を提供する。
アインツベルンは第三魔法に届くための陣を提供する。
Due to only being a family of 3, they decided to invite 4 other families that are not named to summon these souls so they can activate the ritual. But there was just one problem. The Grail can only grant one person a single wish, and, well, what happens when 7 greedy magical families want to possess a magical wish-granting device for their own wants and needs? Well, they slaughter each other.
Saber, Archer, Lancer, Rider, Caster, Assassin, Berserker。7種類の箱に英霊の情報が収められてサーバントになるってわけ。
These 7 classes, these souls of heroes, these servants, alongside their Magi masters, would fight each other for the chance to grant their wish upon the Holy Grail. There was a total of 5 Holy Grail Wars in the Fate Stay Night timeline, each of them with 7 masters and 7 servants. With the first war apparently being kinda underwhelming. Everyone killed each other before the ritual even finished, so nobody really cared about that one. But it is known that the 3 original families would always participate in the ritual in each iteration. It was during the second war that things got out of hand, to the point that the Holy Church was nominated as an overseer to witness the war, to make sure that it doesn't get out of hand and, doesn't destroy the entire place. It was in the Third Holy Grail War that something happened that started affecting the original timeline. In the Third War, the Einsbarons decided to break the norm and summon a servant that was not from the 7 main classes. They summoned Angramanyu, the Avenger. The thing was, Avenger sucked at killing servants, to the point that he was the first to die in the war. But this servant wasn't really useless. He had a couple of things that he was good at. Those things he was good at was corrupting things and killing humans. So Angramanyu, before he died, corrupted the Grail, where the ritual would then become a monkey's paw. In other words, if you desire to be the most attractive person in the world, the Grail would then make everyone ugly and deformed, or straight up Armageddon the entire planet, to make you the only and most attractive person in the world. This leads us to the 4th War, which has an anime adaptation called Fate Zero, and then the 5th War, which has the OG visual novel and the anime adaptation of the 3 routes: the Fate route, the Unlimited Blade Works route, and the Heaven's Field route. With the Fate route being adapted by Dean Studio, Unlimited Blade Works route being adapted by Ufotable, and Heaven's Field being adapted by Ufotable and being separated into 3 movies, which, to be honest, that's kind of a bummer. So yeah, that's basically a brief summarization of the history of the Holy Grail War. There was a lot I left out, but if you came this far, then you should know that if I start going on about the intricate details of the whole system, then we will be here for hours. But that's going to be it for now. I will probably do a video on Archer and Saber when they come out, and even talk about the other characters from the Unlimited Blade Works anime. So if you found this video helpful, maybe you can like and subscribe so you'll know when those videos come out. I don't know. But other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.